Hi everyone, I will make a start. So, firstly, to introduce myself, my name is Sabrina. I'm the Employee Support Supervisor at Giant, and I'll be going through the webinar slides and we'll be discussing the top queries. So, we'll be discussing today how you log into the portal, when you'll be paid, where you can find your payslips and how to understand this. How your tax code is determined, and what to do when you think your tax code is wrong, claiming for sick pay, what holiday entitlement is, and how to enter this on the portal, what the Nest pension scheme is, and how to opt out of that. We'll discuss the SIPP pension and expenses reversals. So you will need to enter your username and password to get into the portal. We do use the two-factor authentication, and this just increases security and safety of your data. If you do select the Remember Me just below the verification code, that means you won't have to keep going through this process within the 24 hours of the day. Once you've clicked Remember Me, you'll be able to like log out and log back in without doing this. So you only get to do it once if you do Remember Me. So payment, each week AMS send Giant your timesheet information. We call this data exchange file. Sometimes you may have heard us say like a DX file. It is usually sent on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and it's all dependent on the payment terms. Giant process the payroll the same day the files are received from AMS, and this just means that if we have sent payroll on a Wednesday, you will get the payment in your bank account by a Friday. And if we have sent the payroll on a Thursday, that means you will receive the payroll on a Monday. I know some of you guys may be aware of 7-day and 30-day payment terms. So it's usually the people that are on 7 days who will get their money by the Friday. And those on the 30-day payment, it will arrive on the Monday. So you may not have received funds due to the expected reasons. So if your timesheet was not approved by your line manager, now to avoid this, you may want to check in with your line manager before the deadline just to make sure everything's fine and it's been actioned accordingly. Checking your payment terms just to ensure you actually are due a payment. Now, you can check your payment terms with Giant or AMS once you are fully onboarded and set up with us. Your timesheet information may not be included in the weekly DX file that we get from AMS. You might not have sight of that, by the way. It would be a matter of you calling in to query with us that you have missed a payment or there is a missing payment, and that's when we would investigate and we'll be able to find out from AMS when we're due to receive this. If you have an outstanding assignment to accept on the Giant portal, you will know that something is outstanding because you'll get the red writing. For those that may have seen this already, there'll be red writing saying that there's incompleted details to action. It'll be the same if there's like an outstanding P45 or employee statement to action. The next one is if your bank details are correct. So I do recommend everybody that is putting their bank details on the portal, just double check it over before you save it, just because if there are any typos, what will happen is there will be a bounce back. We never know how long that takes, so we have to wait for it to bounce back and we have to see that in our account for us to reprocess the money again. So it can be a bit of a nightmare. So I would always advise, please do check your bank details. So finding your payslip on the portal, if you go to your data, it will bring you to the contractor details page where you can select the payslip button. You can click view payslip just on the right corner of the column, and payslips are available to retrieve 24/7. We do just recommend that if you are about to end your assignment or you're about to get P45, just make sure you download all. There is also a recent update where you can actually now download all payslips rather than do it one by one. Just above the view column, you'll see a button now which says download all. So We are happy to have launched that yesterday, actually. So for those that are needing their payslips, please do go in, click download all, and you'll be able to have all of your payslips in one go. This is just an example of what a payslip looks like for those that are new with us. It looks the same every single time. You'll have the giant details at the top. Just towards the right of it is your reference number. So the contractor ref, sometimes if you ever call in to us and we say, what's your contractor ref? That's what it would be. The middle of the payslip would just explain the units you've worked, weekend in dates, rates, the total gross amount, so that's before deductions. As you go on down the payslip, you'll see the NI tax. If you are opted into pension, pension would also be on that section. And then at the bottom, you see the total net pay. Um, that total net pay is what you take home and what gets paid in your bank account. And the bottom row is the payroll analysis. So sometimes it's really good to just keep on top of your pay slips because you can see year to date what you've earned year to date, and you can see what you've earned this period. So on that pay slip. So how your tax code is determined. Tax codes, they are determined and provided by HMRC. They are updated throughout the year, but that's just dependent on your income. It depends on, they look at your records. So as you're being paid, once you've like onboarded with us, you've uploaded your P45 or employee statement. Once you start generating pay slips, HMRC can see your earnings and they will determine if anything needs to change or not. The P45, if it's not available, you can fill out a new starter declaration. This is all done on your portal. So you'll see that P45 and employee starter declaration button that you can either upload your P45 or fill out the statement A, B, and C. The standard tax code for this year is still 1257L. The tax-free allowances monthly is 1,048 and tax-free allowances weekly is 242. HMRC, so they can send us a P6 if anything needs to change regarding your tax code. And once we get that, we can apply it accordingly. Tax is calculated as and when you are paid, not when you are worked. We do get that question quite a lot, especially those that are on like certain payment terms. And if we're approaching a new tax year, it is very important to note down that you get tax based on when you're paid, even though the work might have been completed a month prior. If you think your tax code is incorrect, let's say you've had a few payslips now, and you're like, nope, this is not right, we would recommend that you contact HMRC. I personally recommend using this link below. It's the HMRC tool, and if you log into it, it may be able to tell you why your tax code has changed. So to save you from sitting on hold for ages, you might be able to get your answer first via this link. So definitely jot this down. For those that haven't been on these webinars before, they do get recorded. So a recording will be sent out the following day from me hosting this webinar. So you will be able to, if you've missed it, you will be able to write it down. If obviously you don't get the answers you want from that link, then I would say please do give HMRC a call and they will be able to advise accordingly. We can only accept a P6 notification from HMRC. We can't accept any letters that you may have had. Even if you have received a letter of HMRC letting you know that your tax code is going to change, it will probably take about 72 hours before we get any sort of communication that that's going to change, just for the heads up. So claiming for sick pay, some of you may have the ability to claim for this if you've been off work for more than 3 days. There is a self-certification form, which is known as an SC2 form, on the government website. If you fill it out, you can send it to Giant via the feedback function on your portal. If you are sick for longer than 7 days, you can get a medical note from like your GP or nurse in order to be eligible for SSP. If you have only been off like 1 or 2, even 3 days, you won't be eligible for SSP as the first 3 days are classified as waiting days. So holiday pay, everybody's entitled to it. There is a minimum of 28 days, and this is determined by AMS. So we do appreciate that, we can get a lot of holiday pay questions, but we are instructed by AMS what your entitlement should be. Usually everybody starts off on the 28 days, and then after a certain amount of weeks that have passed on your assignment, it can increase. But again, it's all AMS's judgment there. It is accrued upon each hour worked, and you can view your holiday on your payslip. You can view it via the holiday pay function on the portal too. We do say that our holiday year is from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. We do recommend taking all your holiday in the year that it accrues in. Just for health and well-being, we would always encourage that. I understand that some projects and some, you know, responsibilities don't allow you to take all of your holiday, which is I can understand. What will happen there is that come 31st of December, whatever is left in your holiday pot, it will just carry over into the New Year's holiday pot. So for those that want to request your holiday, you can do this on your portal. You just log in, select your data, then select request holiday pay. We call this a self-serve function on the portal. Holiday pay is paid out as if you would have originally received payment for those hours if you had worked, and we can only pay up to the total value of the accrued holiday pot. So here are the steps. Step one, you want to make sure you're selecting the right assignment that covers the week ending date you're taking as annual leave. Step two is picking the right week ending date. As long as that's correct, there should be no issues. Step three would be entering the hours. So for each day of that week, you want to enter the hours. It should auto populate in the total box and also in the holiday pay requested. You'll see all the numbers accumulate. Once you've reviewed everything and you're happy with what you've entered, you just select next. It will ask you to enter your line manager's email. This is just for admin purposes. We won't need to reach out to your line manager at all. It's just for our admin purposes. So with pension, Nest is a workplace pension that we have via Giant. Everyone is automatically enrolled 90 days from your first payslip. There is a contribution amount of 5% from yourself and 3% from Giant. You can opt out directly with Nest, but I would always recommend just wait for the welcome pack to arrive. Sometimes we do get workers who are very adamant that they want to opt out there and then. What will happen if you call Nest before the welcome pack arrives is they're more than likely to say they can't find you on the system, which can be really frustrating. Once you do get the welcome pack, though, you'll have all the information that they need from you. You can opt out, it's very quick and easy. If you do opt out within 28 days of receiving the letter, you can get refunded for what's been deducted. If it's after 28 days, let's say you've had the letter now for 3, 4 months and you haven't got around to doing it, you won't necessarily get a refund, but you can still seize your account. If you do want to opt in early, you can let us know via the feedback section on your portal or live chat, and just let us know and we'll be able to talk to our payroll team and get you enrolled early. So, as discussed, opting out of the pension scheme is very simple and quick, especially if you do get to the point of calling them once you've received your welcome pack. Just for another heads up, there isn't much Giant can do if you haven't received your welcome pack. We can only advise. So, with the new SIPP pension, you can gain significant tax savings by contributing into a private pension. So, for example, as a higher rate taxpayer, for every £1,000 contribution, you can save £420 in tax and national insurance. So, it's only costing you really £580. If you do want to start this process, contributing into a new or existing private pension, and if you want to discuss your like contribution levels as well, just let us know. And one of our agents will let you know via the feedback portal how this all works, and the relevant departments will be in touch. So entering expense reversal claims, this is quite a popular one right now. So in line with HMRC tax regulations, all expense claims are deemed taxable and is now processed deducting PAYE, uh, tax and national insurance. So if you believe that your expenses are non-taxable, you will just need to submit the expenses reversal form with the accompanying scanned document. So anything to support these expenses, receipts, bank statements, anything that can just support these documents, it will speed up the process in getting your tax reversed. What Giant does is they conduct an assessment according to their HMRC rules. This just determines if your expense qualifies for tax relief. If you don't have the form and you're completely new to this process, just pop us a message via the feedback function of your portal, and we will send you a blank form as you requested. You will need to submit the claim form, send the receipts back to us via the feedback function of your portal also. If you are having any issues or have questions, just let me know, let the team know as well. It is important. I do highly recommend if you enter the claim as soon as it's been like paid out, and don't leave it too long, basically. Don't let it pile up because it can cause some delays. And I feel like the supporting documents can get quite confusing. So I would say as soon as you've had it paid out through payroll, just put the reversal through straight away. If it is authorized, it can be reversed within 2 weeks following the payroll. If we do have any issues or delays, we'll always come back to you and, seek assistance in what it is that we may need, or if we need further receipts, we will communicate with you. So, as you've probably heard me mention the feedback report, this is the function that you use to communicate with us. Um, you can select the feedback report and add feedback. It kind of works like an email, so you can pop a subject in and generate your message and then click submit. If you wanted something a bit more quick, we do have the live chat, which has an average response time of 14 seconds. It is really quick. And easy and quite similar to, speaking with an agent via the feedback. The feedback turnaround time is 24 hours, but it can be a lot sooner. It just depends on the demand of messages we have to get back to. So here is a summary of what we've discussed today. We've mentioned logging into your portal, when you'll be paid, where your payslips are located on the portal, and how to download all of it, and also how to understand it. How your tax code is determined and what to do if you think your tax code is still wrong, claiming for sick pay. We've also mentioned the holidays entitlement and how to enter these on the portal, Nest pension and opting out of Nest. We have spoken about SIPP pension and also the expenses reversal. So thank you so much for listening today. It's been a pleasure to let you guys know just a bit more information on our top queries. If any of you guys have any sort of feedback you would like to give us, please let me know. And, we would love to know how we can improve. If you have any questions, please do use the Q&A function of the portal. I'll get to as many questions as possible. Otherwise, any questions that pop up later on in the day, just use your feedback portal to communicate.